A very good evening to each and every one of you, and welcome to our broadcast. Good to have all of you on the live. Welcome to our broadcast. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Good to be back. Good to be back from Region 1. How are you folks doing? Nigel McKenzie, Bantu King, Mandy, Humi, you, Roxanne, Humi, yes, you, Mandy, Rawl, and Rajin. Good to have all of you in the live tonight. Good to be back from Region 1. I had a Pelican time. Couldn't separate if it's a vacation, staycation, or it's work. But good to have all of you with us, folks. Another day, another dollar. We're waiting for our Facebook page to clear. Our sister Credit McDonald has our broadcast on, and we don't want to all be on the same page at the same time. So Credit is on, and we're holding for her to finish. If you find us stalling a little bit, I ain't stalling. I am not stalling. But good to have you. Good to have you. I see Mandy is here, and me, and yes, you, and all of us. And good to have you, Desiree Felix and Paulette. Me ain't taking you on. Beatrice Selby is here. Good to have you, and Desiree Felix and Gavin Jacobs. Folks, happy to have all of you on the live, each and every one of you. Coretta Shistorigo. Folks, happy to have all of you on the live with us this evening. Share the live and smash that emoji. But we want our friends on Facebook to be able to benefit, So we're going to hold for them. You all bear with us. Hope you guys have had a good day. Missed our broadcast this morning because we were traveling this morning, folks. We were traveling. I got some stuff to show you all why these people doing the kinds of things that they're doing. In some instances, they got a method to it. It's just madness. In some instances, they got a little method. Madness method. But good to have all of you here. Volme, I see you there. Humi, Gwyneth, Alwyn. Good to have all of you. Folks, share the live for us. Smash that emoji button. Tis this season. There's a lot happening. Deborah Clark, Kevin, Big George, 25. A lot of names. Kevin, Big George, 25. Good to have you. Romel, we see you there as well. Marlon Thomas, we see you, folks. Region 1 far. Moruca, Region 1. Last week we were in Region 1, a different part of Region 1. We were in Maruka. We were heading to the border. This week, we're next side, no border this side of Region 1. Right? Or not the kind of border, not Venezuela border at least. We were in Moruca, Santa Rosa, Cubana, Region 1. We took you all with us. Couldn't leave you all by yourselves. We took you all with us. We took you all along for the ride. And to get to Region 1, you got to go up to Moruca, get a boat, head to Supanam, Essequibo. Right? You head to Supanam. Then you got to get a taxi from Supanam to Charity, get another boat, head out to Pomeroon, on the Pomeroon River, head out into the Atlantic, go around a couple turns, and then boom, you're going in that beautiful creek there. What's the name of that creek? You're gone in there, folks, and then boom, the vistas open up there. It's a beautiful country. Beautiful, beautiful country. And I do hope that we can just walk and die. Die and walk. Well, it's just the other way. Walk and die. I hope we can just walk and die in this country. That we can see a couple places. You know how? We can see a couple places. We can spend a little money on ourselves. Spend a little money on ourselves. Now we go down the road. Good to have you, man, in the comments. Folks, believe it or not, in case you don't know what's happening, I am holding for our Facebook page to free up because I want our Facebook family to join us with a valid, incredible information. Our sister Coretta McDonald has a program on sale. We love it. We were listening to some of it before we came on too. And so, we don't want two programs to be running on the same page. So we have an eye on that. We have a little eye on that, waiting for that to conclude, folks. Then we can get into it. I got quite a few things to talk to you all about tonight. Heather want to know what's going on. Cost of living high. Number one, people suffering badly. Janet Smith, Jilly G, Mandy Cummins. Good to have all of you on the live. Good to have all of you. Those of you, and if they themselves are here, the people who cross, and so on. I ain't talking with them tonight. I'm sorry. So if you're joining for that, you can tune out now. We can tune out now. 7 minutes in, folks. We got 500 of you on with us, and we're grateful. We're thankful for each and every one of you. Great to have all of you on the live tonight, good folks. We're fired up. At this end, we are fired up, good folks, and we are ready to go. Fired up, brothers and sisters, and ready, God. We're just holding for the guys to wrap up, which we told us any minute now. Any minute now. Folks, share the live in the meantime, please, with somebody. Send in a WhatsApp group. Put on your Facebook page. Share back the live to your Facebook page. Those of you who are, well, it's only you who joining us on YouTube. I'm so eager to start. But I don't, you understand? I don't want to shortchange our folks on Facebook. Tell them that we love them. Y'all tell them how much we love them. We waited for them. Tell them, you're lucky. I mightn't wait much longer. Because I don't want to do an injustice to you folks either. Don't want to do an injustice to you folks either. But in the meantime, I'll give it another minute. Share the live for us. Marlon, Herod, is it Cartho? We heard from anybody got a piece of me name affects, let me know. Jill G, how you doing? Jill D, Grace. I'll come in the shades now. The light is so. I was up a little early to travel, and I feel a little sluggish. And then the light feels like a hangover, overhang. Whatever you call it, Pamela, whatever it is. Good to have you. Humi, Edward. Good to have all of you. Gloria Chester. Gloria, how you doing? Gloria, say welcome back. Don't talk too quickly. We got things to do, places to go, people to see. Good to have you. I miss you all. You think you understand that? I miss you all. Leslyn, Gloria, Edward, everybody. I miss you all. Plenty enough. I miss you all. Plenty enough. Good to have all of you on the live. Good to have all of you on the live, folks. All right. I think they're about done. You see, we got to be courteous to each other. We got to be kind to each other. Leslyn, Jilly G, Edward, Pack Promo, Gwyneth. I was holding for them to conclude, but I didn't want to keep you guys waiting so long. I said, oh, he on again. I told you all, once we're not on, we're not playing. I wish I could take a night and put my foot up and let Lynette or Katia or Wilma take the seat. But alas, Karen Mohammed, Wenda Hudson, alas, we're here now. Folks, man's just starring bad tonight. And while we wait to get through to Facebook, right? Let me show y'all how man's just starring. She took over the whole show. She's just the kind of person. Take over the whole show tonight. The whole show. A very important piece of legislation passed in the National Assembly. Y'all ever heard about an organization called the RSS? You ever heard about this organization called the RSS? Regional Security Team. You ever heard about that organization? Do you open up, folks? Do you open up? Some of that, there was a specific legislation to ratify the actions of the RSS in the Caribbean and Guyana in particular. In the Caribbean and in Guyana in particular. Manzo Walton Desire addressed this issue, right? Quite recently, she addressed the whole thing. She said it's a parallel security outfit you all starting. Like it's a parallel security outfit. Good folks, take a look. Our sister from another mother, Amanzo Walton, is here making the arguments like it's a parallel security apparatus you all doing here. Take a look.
This is concerning to the people of Guyana. And so, Mr. Chair, we can't only pass laws that will affect poor people children. We got to pass laws that hold the rich and those who believe that they're above the law accountable.
She said that there are security forces operating with impunity. She also offered some recommendations.
I want to strongly recommend the revision and the reissuing of regulations to regulate these private security firms. And they must contain, Mr. Speaker, the prohibition of face coverings by private security personnel in public spaces.
Yeah. Don't come around with funny. Don't do it. Private security firms, you're 1 star. Have we ever gotten anything, substantive out of the RSS? That's a good question we could ask ourselves. Have we? When last have we gotten something substantive out of the RSS? They came for our in Boston. And then they investigate Quentin Bacchus. Henry Boyce. Have we? Is that a fair question? Is it a fair comment? That we're wasting time a little bit with the RSS. Is it? Have we ever gotten anything substantive? Have they worked for us? You're going to pay a lot of money to room and board and to transport. Please and thank you. And then we can get to be money's worth. When you talk about the RSS, whop. When you talk about the RSS, one letter missing. Pim. Good to have all of you on the live. We got Marcia Fordyce, we got Humi is here, and Siobhan and Bantu King. Bantu said nothing from them. Nothing from nothing from them, folks. If it ain't one thing, it's another. If it ain't one thing, it's another. So we're gonna be talking with you folks a little bit about some of what's been happening, folks. This is season. Everybody, not only coming out. Election 2025. It's gonna be grand. It's gonna be big. It's gonna be super fragilistic, espialidocious. It's gonna be all of those things. Big, grand, everything. The 2025 general and regional elections. They say if you think the last election was wild, you better strap yourselves in. Andrew Park, Elise, we're gonna have you, Ingrid Pollard, and all the other folks. You think the last election was wild and grand. Hold on, man. Brace it over the man. Y'all hurry. GECOM ready? Have we sorted out the plans of work and the work plans? And have we sorted it out? These guys have already started this thing, It's a set piece. Rigging, machinery. Folks, y'all can wait for go and take lamb stick for geared ballot boxes. But the system is already being engineered a certain way. Yeah. The system is already being geared a certain way. Then I tell you all the stuff is going to start. Big tonight. The system already being set up for a certain outcome. This is the rigging, you might want to call it pre-rigging, whatever it is. Whatever it is, folks. Rigging, pre-rigging, same difference. Same difference. And that's why you gotta watch some people, right? I think it was Ganesh who spoke to the issue recently in the National Assembly of a bloated voters list. And I like when Ganesh tell them a thing or two. I like when Ganesh rip into them. Here is our friend and brother Ganesh Maipal on the floor of the National Assembly talking about the same issue of the bloated voters list. Yeah. They talk about it in 2015. They want biometrics. They want a clean list. But now when it comes, folks, time to, put the money where the mouth went. Very difficult. Good to see so many of you on the live this evening, folks. Shadow Minister of Local Government and Regional Development, Ganesh Maipal, making the argument of this notoriously bloated, infamously bloated voters list. Take a look, folks, and take a listen.
Parliament Ganesh Mahipal has reiterated the need for a clean voters list. In the National Assembly on Monday, he said that the APNU-AFC coalition, while in government, set about ensuring a clean voters list.
The APNU-AFC has always maintained, even when they were in government, that we need a credible voters list. The APNU-AFC in government began the process to give this country a clean voters list. It was not stopped by us. It was stopped by a court action coming from the People's Progressive Party.
He said that the coalition is still bent on a clean voters list, which is a precursor to credible elections. He said that despite motions being brought to the House, there is no movement towards such a list.
When the submission, sir, was made on all the findings, reference to electoral reform, when the findings were made, sir, the Honorable Attorney General said that he will like us to provide the voter fraud evidence. May I remind this Honorable House, and may I remind the viewing public, that the evidence was submitted to the Guyana Elections Commission.
He said that the GECOM chairperson submitted that evidence to the Chief Immigration Officer and to the General Registrar's
And
Office.
a response came showing that several persons who were listed on the official list of electors and marked off or ticked off as voted were not in the jurisdiction on or before March 2nd, 2020. It is either they were removed, not removed, it is either they were out of the jurisdiction or they were simply dead.
Mahipal said that the evidence was submitted to Attorney General Anil Nandlal.
Since 2022, the evidence were given to him. Here is Stabrook News, September 7th, 2022. The evidence were given to him. The Lord Attorney General promised this nation to say whether those evidence have value and whether they are credible. To date, he has not pronounced on it. Is it because the findings of him doesn't suit him?
He said that those findings led to the conclusion that the 2020 elections were mired in fraud. This led to the call for a clean voters list. The government, then in opposition, called for a clean voters list and biometrics.
Our focus on this side of the House is to ensure that every man has a vote, a single vote. Every person is entitled to a single vote. And no amendment that the People's Progressive Party has brought so far to this House can guarantee us that, especially after taking note of all the findings in the elections recount that we had in 2020.
Some 40 countries have advanced biometrics to ensure fair elections. These countries include the United Kingdom, India, Nigeria, and Ghana.
Yeah. Valid, credible information. Folks, if you don't share the live yet, you're wicked. Once I can tell you. What else can be said? If you haven't shared the live yet, you're wicked. Please and thank you. Share the live for us. Smash that emoji button as well. Good to have each and every one of you here with us. And as we run elections, a major issue in this country. I don't want us to forget Adriana Young and justice for Adriana Young and all those persons like her who have died under mysterious circumstances. And you all know the list going up and up and up and up every day, every time. A lot of folks, and we can start from Joel and Isaiah Henry, Harry Singh, and Quindon Bacchus. Well, we know the whole story, the top to bottom, and Oren Boss. Justice for all of them. We must call for justice for all of them as well. This install regime, the faster we see the backs, the better. The faster we see the backs, the better for this country. A former Assistant Commissioner of Police, Paul Slow, recently spoke to this matter of these statements that came out of the Guyana Police Force. Just as that autopsy was being done, it seems like a lifetime ago. It was just a week, 2 weeks ago. Just as that autopsy was being done. Is it a coincidence? You believe so with this government? You believe this is a government of coincidence? No, folks. In this business that we're in here, we've learned a long time ago. You ain't got no coincidence. Please and thank you. Don't come wrong, we funny. Share the live for us. Smash that emoji button. Former senior policeman, the retired Assistant Commissioner of Police, Paul Stowe. Take a look, folks. Somewhat Paul Stowe said, we got to keep this issue alive. Justice for Adriana is on the ballot. And don't let them try to kerfuffle us. The former senior policeman.
The release of this statement yesterday, after the body was flown to US on Monday, is a coincidence. I don't believe it's a coincidence.
That was retired Assistant Commissioner of Police Paul Slow. He was commenting on a statement released by the police on the death of 11-year-old Adriana Young. The child's body was flown out of the country to the United States for a second autopsy. Slow said that the release, in his view, was to counter anything that didn't coincide with what was stated.
The first attempt to downplay and to say whatever comes out might not be valuable or might not be of any evidential value and so on. Frank Anthony, Minister of Health, came out very early and he said that the body, since the postmortem on the 28th of April, 2025, the same day with all the storm, he said the body was handed over to the family and that the police no longer had control over the body, implying that anything could have happened to
He
the
quoted
body.
Attorney General Anil Nandlal as saying that the body had no forensic value. However, Slow said that hundreds of years after the body had been buried, scientists have been able to ascertain how the person died and the last meal they had.
All of that, the statement by Nandlal, the statement by Frank Anthony, those statements were made in an effort to try to negatize or to discredit whatever findings may be revealed, which does not accord with the findings of the chief pathologist that they brought in.
One day after the body was flown to the United States, the police issued a statement. That statement spoke about the transparency and the forensic activities that followed the discovery of the body.
You got the Speaker of the House, right? Nadir, Mansour Nadir, ban the use of the word corruption in Parliament. We should all insist that the police should ban the use of the word transparency in giving these statements.
Folks, there you have it. The man himself, retired Assistant Commissioner of Police, Paul Slow, laying it out. Ban the word transparency. Yeah. Shrouded in secrecy. Trying to kerfuffle people in this country. Folks, welcome to our broadcast. Wherever you're joining us from, those of you who are coming through from Facebook, we were holding for our sister Coretta program to finish. Coretta MacDonald, Member of Parliament. We're waiting for her folks to program to finish. Before we went through, we want to kerfuffle nobody. But good to see all of you folks on the live tonight. Grace and Mandy and Marva and Sheila Boychild and all you other folks who are joining us, whether you're at home here in Guyana, whether you're joining us from Mabaruma, you're joining us from Moruca. Good to have each and every one of you on the live. I'm coming up to Maruka because we got to talk about some things in our country. I see them busy since we went to Moruca and pointing out, you know, what's happening there. Busy. Thank you so much, Miss Williams, for your kind thoughts. I always second guess myself if I'm pronouncing the name right. Elise Williams. I'm always second guess myself. Forgive me if I'm not doing it right. Roxanne and Colvis and Lil Boy, you two, everybody, folks. Everybody, great to have all of you on the live. We were saying before you guys came in that this is season. You know, we got this season upon us, and everybody's stepping up and stepping out. Stepping up and stepping out. And before we step out to Maruka, you know, the authorities in this country really wicked, you know. 30 odd years in government, Ingrid Crawford, Dolly Anderson, 30+ years. And if you see, you know, we didn't have time to swim, but yet I went in a creek. Yet I was in a creek. And if you've been following our Facebook page during the course of the day, you don't know why we went in the creek. You know, you're in, but you're out in this government. With this government, you're in and you're out all at the same time. Just wickedness. Total wickedness. Don't know how else to put it. Total wickedness.
The criminal law.
Right? Total wickedness. Sorry about that, folks. Sorry about that. Look some more of what transpired in the National Assembly recently. I did tell you Amanza's starring tonight. She had some thoughts for them. You know, the speaker tried to come wrong. Amanza funny. I ain't got to tell you anything else. He tried to come wrong or funny. I ain't got to tell you a damn thing else. Take a look.
And Manzo Walton Desir told the National Assembly on Monday that there is mischief in the work plan produced by the Guyana Elections Commission for the upcoming elections. One piece of mischief is contained in the period allotted for claims and objections.
In the current work plan that GECOM has, there are essentially 5 days given for claims and objections. And I want us to understand the significance of that. Because, Mr. Speaker, since 1992, claims and objections have lasted for anywhere between 21 days, up to 21 days. There have been instances where there were 14 days, but disagreement of the parties involved. 14 days for claims, 7 days for objections. And this has been our practice for over 30 years.
This time around, the period has been reduced to 5 days.
This is not administrative adjustment. This is a wholesale, just an erosion of a foundational function that ensures the integrity of our elections.
She said that this is just one way of the PPP disenfranchising Guyanese. In addition, people who aren't supposed to be on the list can't be removed because of the time constraint.
My colleague, the Honorable Shara Duncan, alluded to the fact that they were on the ground and they were told by Venezuelan migrants that they're awaiting birth certificates. It is alleged that at the last NTC Congress or conference, birth certificates were doled out. Hundreds and thousands.
Many are not deserving of birth certificates. People who can't speak English have birth certificates, according to Ms. Walton Desir.
What this government has done is engineered the population right before our very eyes. That is what they have done. And we have been warning about it for years. But you know what? This government has a lot of money to spend on propaganda. And they've spent a lot of time calling us on this side of the house riggers, etc., to distract from the fact that they are absolutely the ones culpable.
This is the reason she said that the results of the census can't be released.
They know that if they release the results of the census, it will show what it will show, and it will bring into question the very sharp increase in numbers that we are seeing on this bloated voters list. This is why they're not giving us the census, because they are attempting to engineer the population.
Amanda was so right, folks. You all see the amount of issues, the sheer amount of issues that we gotta pay attention to. Huh? You gotta watch them. In my man's voice, this government with 10 eyes, watch them. You gotta watch them. You know, I saw T. Muhammad in Moruca. I think it was on Monday, and I heard some folks commenting, "Oh, this and that and so on." Look, I am this election here. This is gonna be a wild one. As I said, those of you who are now joining us, when we started on YouTube because we had another program running on our Facebook pages. We didn't want the conflict there. But we said when we started that if you think 2020 was wild, watch and see what them boys do. When the loss is confirmed, watch the shenanigans. Watch the shenanigans. And so our attention was drawn to this visit by T. Muhammad to Maruka. You know, and the people who turned out to listen to him. And when we were on the ground in Moruca yesterday into today, and you see the issues that permeate, the issues that pervade, the issues that are pervasive, that's some bright. You know, you understand why people are going to have a hard time voting for the PPP, and they're seeing this. Folks, this whole thing, Reagan set up one time. Reagan set up one time. Imagine a lot of folks, they were making a lot of noise, right? A lot of noise. When we leave the opposition or Norton, they want to shake the Jacobats' hand. When they want to shake the Chench Capo hand. You imagine Asruddin Mohammed, businessman and philanthropist. He went to Moruca. He went to Moruca. Imagine that. A policeman, right? A policeman shook his hands. You know what the man is today? Huh? You know what the man is today? Apologies there. Transferred. That is where he is. That is where he at. Transferred. Because why? Right? They send you for watch the man. The man came up out of the boat landing area, stretched out his hands. The policeman shook his hands. Where's the fault in that? I thought this government like the hands get shake. Not for the amount of noise. I hear them like, oh, you can't shake hand now? Shake it. It's courtesy. And this is that. And then they transfer the policeman. Transfer the policeman. Who's sharing the live? I'm so grateful to see our Facebook fans have joined us. Our Facebook friends have joined us. Share the damn. Transfer the fella, you know. Transfer the fella. Them boys ain't easy, but God don't sleep. God don't sleep. That's why why y'all know. There's so many issues, and it's not only in Moruca. We went to Moruca and we went to a lot of other places. You know, all the way up, we got all the way up to a place called Kobana, talking with people, and it's the same all over. It is the same all over. Now, to get from, sorry, we went from Santa Rosa. Moruca is the whole area. Hear myself speak. We went from Santa Rosa all the way up to Kobana. Stopping and talking with people along the way. Looking at the infrastructure. We got to hold them accountable. Please and thank you. Folks, to get from point A to B is 18 miles. Santa Rosa to Kobana, so we chose 20 miles. This is 20 miles. And that 20 miles could take you 5 hours. Now, y'all got your nice road, especially those of you in the diaspora. We're talking about concussion road. We're talking about proper road. Y'all got y'all nice road. 20 miles could be 10 minutes. Don't come around with funny. 20 miles could be 10 minutes, you know. Now these boys, look at some of the challenges the people in this region got. Look at some of the challenges. Look at some of the roads. Like a other story. You ever see a life flash before your eyes? As a father, don't carry me now. Like see them be brought to the knees, humble them. Jesus set ambush for them. This is the road, you know. This is the road. And let me tell you something. When them big boys come, they might get a big gas guzzling SUVs that can take on this terrain. Right? The humble citizens of Santa Rosa, the humble citizens of Moruca, they got to go in the car and so on. That's the road, you know. That's the road folks got to travel. Right? That's the road folks got. Y'all think it easy there? And they don't even use the government officials now. Don't even use the road. They abandon the road, the government. Right? They consign the people to the road. Now you know what they're using? They fly. They fly in charter into Cubana. They fly charter into Cubana. They stink, wicked, and dirty. That's what I want to tell you. Stink, wicked, and dirty. But we're going to keep exposing them. You going to ask me twice. We are going to keep exposing them. That's what we can keep doing. Please and thank you. We're going to keep exposing all the time. Who vex? Who vex? Now look at this. Look at this. Right? Look at this here. This is the garbage dump. And the important thing, opposite the garbage dump, they got an area earmarked for a hospital. This is an informal garbage dump, you know, a dump site like Higgs Bush. And this is what they assigned here. And just across the road, you can see. You see the red fence there? That's where the hospital going. Higgs Bush on one side, a hospital. That's going to be built there. Right? Higgs Bush on one side, hospital on the next. A garbage dump right there. Now, what's interesting there is that's just there's a garbage dump on one side, a dump site, a Higgs Bush, and a building a hospital. Now, the folks in Maruka, we didn't get a chance to go swimming even though that water was calling us. But yet we went swimming because coming through the pipes in Moruca is that same water, right? Coming through the pipes is the creek water. So you're going to go swimming, the swimming will come to you. Is that creek water? And why I talked about that dump site? The residents believe that that dump site is leaking into the creek. Remember, this is not an official dump site. They just tell people go and put your garbage there. Right? So they got all the technology that they do for the dump sites. That's what the folks tell us. Water, the wastewater and whatever gas and leachates and so on, you know, might be right in there swimming around. What? You all think you understand this government? Good folks? Huh? You understand or you overstand them? Tell us which is it. But let's talk about the hospital first, because you know that has been a major that's a major concern. Let me tell you, listen to me. I did tell you about the high fence, the red fence. So our guide, he was so gracious. You know, was taking us around. We had a list of the projects we wanted to check out in Region 1. He took us, he said, you see, they're building the hospital behind here. I saw, all right, nice. Even see the fence, right? Higher than the Great Wall of China. I saw it. So we got out, checked out the dump site there, saw the whole PPP cabal, could fit right in there. And we said we're going to go. They're building the hospital, fair enough, and so on. And then something saying, no, this fence is a little too tall. The Lord is warning you about the PPP. Huh? The Father is warning you about the PPP. I feel him a spirit. This fence, you never pick up nothing in your spirit, man. Huh? You never pick up nothing in your spirit. When your spirit clean, you pick up things. Sharon tell them, Rastaman, Eva, now I'll train me clean spirit. You gotta fast, you gotta pray, you gotta cleanse, you gotta detox. And it, when your spirit clean, you pick up them jackabots right away and you say, something around here. And then we say we can take a look. Remember how you all were helpful to us to be eyes in the sky? You all see how it's coming back to benefit us now? But look, story.
Right,
Hospital.
so welcome to this Credible Sources update. We're looking at this project in Region 1, Moruca in particular, Santa Rosa in Moruca in an area called 3 Mile. Now, this project was signed since in November of last year for over $4 billion, and it's supposed to be completed in 24 months. Now, from last year, November to now, how many months is that? 24 months, and nothing is being done currently. Thanks for joining this Credible Sources update.
Yeah. Since last November, that contract was signed. You hear me? Big high fence, wrap around. Now, the one problem with the people from Moruca, David Papin, Shamar, we went looking for hospital space. Space. The one problem, 3,500 of you watching us live. The one problem with the good people of Moruca, them fast. So they wouldn't take the time and go and see and say, let's see the building around this big wall here, this thing ever start. Irfan went himself, just like how he and Priya went themselves to Hosororo and Saudi Secondary School coming nice. And then the day after they left, the project abandoned. The same way, Irfan went, you see, with big shovel and so on, turning the sod, $4.4 billion. At least you have a shell of a school in Hosororo. Folks, didn't I tell y'all? Y'all tell me for lie. Y'all know how us Guyanese we say. Tell me for lie. Didn't I tell y'all the further out you go, say more the corruption? Where the money gone? Huh? Last November, the contract is for 2 years. So you've lost what? 7 months? You've lost 7 months? Where the money gone? And you're telling people that you all care. Care for who? Care for yourselves. So the higher the fence, the more the corruption behind it. The residents think that a school is a hospital. The Maruka Regional Hospital is being constructed there. The fence, yes, they're building it right now. Right? But as Michelle said, my spirit strong. As the people you're dealing with, Michelle said it right. My spirit strong. I see somebody saying critics is the Bordness is the contractor. Mark Everett, my spirit. You have a strong spirit. You see, when you're a child of God, blood wash, water baptized, I didn't come around with funny. My spirit said, take a peep over. Take a peep. I said, spirit for real? Spirit said, yes. That's all right, spirit. And then we looked, space. What are you going to tell me now? Watch for the lights. Irfan went and turned his head. He said, we're building this thing now. Well, they said they're going to appoint the Chancellor and Chief Justice the same way. Soon. Soon. Right? Irfan going to be out of office and not a brick and lay it. You see, since we post that road up, all that's on our Facebook page of Credible Sources, right? You should see them giddy up now. You should see them giddy up, smoothing out. I know you can smooth out all the concussion. How much time now you can get the road? Smooth out the road now. If you see giddy up, when we move, things can happen. Don't come wrong funny. When we move, people say thanks for coming. Look, the Bill Bridge here. Look, story here. You get a little paid now. That's bap. Election time. So I'm so grateful for strong spirit. You know? If I own this far less strong spirit, my wife will be right all the time. If I own the far less strong spirit, spirit will look over the fence. The higher the fence, I say, all right, we can see some thing excavate and so on. What? Excavate who? Huh? Look, some other things we spot. Remember I told you about the garbage, the water and all of that? Some other issues we saw there in Moruca, but it's so beautiful. You know? But the issues first. Look, some of the issues we saw there. Take a look. Take a listen.
Sources news update from Moruca Region 1. Nearly 3 decades under the PPP government, with a brief interruption by the APNU AFC. Yet in Moruca, basic necessities remain a daily struggle. Residents still receive untreated creek water pumped straight into their homes, and there are fears that a nearby dump site may be contaminating that very water they drink. The government's big promises? Empty. A $4.4 billion contract for the Maruka Regional Hospital was signed months ago, but not a single piece of machinery has arrived. $1 billion school will stand as a monument of poor workmanship if it ever gets completed. The roads, see for yourself, broken, neglected, dangerous. Interestingly, the only area where construction has started happens to be a traditional PPP stronghold. Even that has now been abandoned midstream. At the Kamaka Health Center, no fridge exists to store vaccines or medicines. In a country that boasts about oil wealth, $1 trillion budgets, and being the fastest growing economy in the world, residents demand 24-hour electricity, safe water, and real development, not slogans. As elections draw near, many in Maruka say the PPP's We Care mantra is nothing but a campaign line, while community like theirs are left behind decade after decade. This has been a credible source news update from Maruka in Region 1.
Yeah. Valid, credible information. There's nobody telling me. It's what we see with our own eyes. Y'all saw that bridge at the end there? Apnu built that bridge. He only wants to see the rickety bridge we found when we got into office. And this is the Apnu AFC. That bridge is like the David Granger administration built that beautiful bridge. Folks, y'all gotta see this country. I mean, you guys who in the West, who in the North America, y'all in the diaspora. I know y'all got one or two nice places, you know, some nice buildings and bridges. We got the ugliest airport in the world, Cheney Jackson International. You know, we know it is them where our bridge gonna look like high span and all these different things. You know, take it light until we see the final thing and what's that. You know, but when it comes to flora and fauna, when it comes to scenery and so on, oh, we right up there with the best of them. This country is so beautiful, you know. I ain't hear a horn hung there, right? You see all that mud, folks. We had the taxi driver was our chaperone and guide and everything all in one. We on a hill, right? And you got nothing bracing you. You can't get tired for that. Right? Michelin and Yearwood and all of that. They don't build tires for that. Right? So we going down the hill. And this, you know, when you're flying, you always look to the pilot. If the pilot is worried, you know, we're in the boat, I watching the captain. If the captain ain't too worried, you know, a couple of times coming back from Mabruma, right? We're looking at people who live in Mabruma flying out and so on. The pilot come, they come and so on. And then the plane makes a pop, pop. You know, rain like first time up there, though. Rain. We could see the pilot looking for way out of the storm, right? The pilot end up coming down very, very low. Right? So much rain. Pop, 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 every cloud. I think it was a PvP pilot. Honest to God. Right? I said, Father's not my time yet. But not my will. Pop, every cloud like pothole. On Concussion Road. Every cloud. Like the Moruca Concussion Road, this pilot hit it. Pop, pop, pop. Remember I tell you, Travis had the back praying. I never knew Travis as a practicing heavy duty Christian. If you hear Travis, rubber, speaking in tongues, you know, I said, Father, if you're ready for me, my heart clean, my spirit clean, I speak up things. I got strong spirit, as Michelle said. I ready for any eventuality. You understand me? Any, right? Any eventuality. Travis said it back more than pray. If you hear tongues, Suzuki, Yamaha, Motorola, if you hear story in the back, right? If you hear story, similar. The plane makes a pop, pop, pop. Like it falls 3 times. I see some girls, some Mabarumans, whatever they call themselves. Watch idiot other stuff. I say we're in trouble now. I say, what's trouble now? I see the 2 girls sleeping, you know. We catching tail at the back, Travis in tongues at the back. Right? I sing it nearer, my God, to thee. Draw me nearer, blessed Lord, to the cross where thou was. I ready, you know. Any eventuality. Listen to me, anything happen. Another Rasta can take me place. I ready any day now. You hear me? Of course, I hope it's a long time. Of course. Travis at the back, rope cut in there. Sorry. I confess all my sins. Everything I do to my wife, I'm sorry. I hear Travis confessing at the back. Me? Father. Bop, bop, bop. Them girls back each other's side. Sorry. Couple times like that happened in the boat. I see the boat do some things. Right? People from Moruca side watch each other side. It's all right. What's trouble now? What's trouble now? Right? He's like, what are you gonna do? You just you in the ocean. When's the time? Is the time? You know, but God there saved, came back. They travailed. So telling you up at the hill, telling you all that to bring it to the hill. This car made it up on the hill. And I heard the driver say, oh God. I heard the driver say, oh God. Now the driver, his wife is accompanying. His wife is in the front seat. And what she saw. Right? I think they said something to each other, must he tell the kids, whoever survived, I love them, whatever the case may be. The driver said, oh God. I said, what's trouble now? And this car starts skating along this hill. Not only car skating along the hill, right? The driver exclamations and so on. The car skating along this hill sideways. So I'm in the back seat of this car, and I can see the hill, right? The hill going down from the back seat, clear as day. That's how the car going down the hill, sideways. Right? Of course, y'all know me. If any eventuality, I say, oh shucks, with this camera, I should be live now. I waste a good content here. You always think about that. Same thing. When once I bless myself since a father, right? You know, I'm looking for the camera. Live. This thing gotta be live. We can't waste this content. Right? I can show all this thing. I can't scramble the content. Everything in the car tumbling up. The car is sideways, skating down the hill. And I see the driver makes a what? The father what happened? My heart clean. You know, I know coming back to hand some of them. I hand James, I can hand Gita, she especially. I can hand is who the others? I can hand some of them. You know, if I can't catch them in this life, the next life, what is it? That car coming down the hill sideways, you know. I say, Father, hey, this is it now. You see all them Indiana Jones movie as a young man. You know you can do one in real time. And like I can't hit, you know, live and record fast. And the car coming down, it might say, what? You know? Brought the car back. Now you see the hill now through the screen in the car, no longer through the side window by me. Through the windscreen. Right? I said, this is it, boy. Looks to I said to the driver, I never doubted you for a minute. Never doubted you for a minute. Never doubted you. Yeah. What? Straight. The vicissitudes. The vicissitudes. The only thing I couldn't click that record button in time. Couldn't click that button. If see things I tossing through to get his phone. The car coming down sideways, sir. I watching him up closer. Valid, credible information. On the next one. Have a fantastic rest of the evening. Let us leave it there, good folks. Valid, credible information all the way and all the time. Yeah, y'all see them, man? Yeah? Take another look.
This is a credible sources news update from Maruka, Region 1. Nearly 3 decades under the PPP government, with a brief interruption by the APNU AFC. Yet in Moruca, basic necessities remain a daily struggle. Residents still receive untreated creek water pumped straight into their homes. and there are fears that a nearby dump site may be contaminating that very water they drink. The government's big promises? Empty. A $4.4 billion contract for the Moruca Regional Hospital was signed months ago, but not a single piece of machinery has arrived. A $1 billion school will stand as a monument of poor workmanship if it ever gets completed. The roads, see for yourself, broken, neglected, dangerous. Interestingly, the only area where construction has started happens to be a traditional PPP stronghold. Even that has now been abandoned midstream. At the Comarca Health Center, no fridge exists to store vaccines or medicines. In a country that boasts about oil wealth, trillion-dollar budgets, and being the fastest growing economy in the world, residents demand 24-hour electricity, safe water, and real development, not slogans. As elections draw near, many in Maruka say the PPP's We Care mantra is nothing but a campaign line, while communities like theirs are left behind decade after decade. This has been a credible source news update from Moruca in Region 1.
Live and direct, yeah. Live and direct, man. What? Y'all see all that slush there? Y'all see that child walking on a little ledge of mud or something there? Huh? That man come down that hill. Before he get to the bottom, his tree drops his big holes, you know. Pop, pop, pop. Right? Big hole, but then meet the Larry hole standard yet. Big holes nonetheless. Y'all are not too familiar with big holes. I don't play around with big holes. Travis business. Pop, pop, pop. And then you get all that slush mud. And that man, like a real stuntsman, carry the car on the side. Me watching the hillside, there's no, there's the sky watching. Carry the car on the side, sir. Get through that slush. You know, nothing short of miraculous. That's going to do it for us. Pim. That's our time, folks. That's our program. Stay safe. We're going to see you in the next one. Stay safe.